Hello, my name is Mike Clarke. I'm one of the two AP Human Geography teachers at Woodstock North High School. I'm also the department chair for the Social Studies Department at Woodstock North High School. I wanted to welcome you and thank you for considering AP Human Geography as one of the courses you may take as a freshman at Woodstock North. And hopefully this video is going to give you some more insight and explanation as to what AP Human Geography is, what we cover, what our tests and exam looks like, and what the workload is if you're planning on taking AP Human Geography. So let's get into it. First, what AP Human Geography does is we look at the relationship between humans and the area and geography and environment around them. So when you think about human geography, I don't want you to think we're going to be studying just riverbeds and mountain ranges and bodies of water and continents. That's more of the physical aspect of geography. What we're looking at here with human geography is the impact humans have on their physical geography and what humans do to modify the landscape around them and what happens when humans move from place to place and the culture they take with them. Those are some of the things we look at. I think this course has a lot of real life connections in that if you took certain events that are happening today and have happened in the past, you can draw a lot of geographic connections to those events. One of the events that's really impacting us this year, unfortunately, is the COVID-19 pandemic. And in a few slides from now, I'm going to show you how COVID-19 has a lot of geographic connections and how you can connect a lot of what we learn about in our course to COVID-19 and the effect it's had on our world this year, and unfortunately the effect it's going to have in the future. A little bit more about me. I've been teaching AP Human Geography for 8 years now. I taught it for several years at a previous high school I was at, North Boone High School, and I've been teaching at Woodstock North for 5 years now, and I've taught AP Human Geography here each of those years. I really do enjoy teaching the course. The course is designed for mainly freshmen and sophomores. Roughly 80% of the students that take AP Human Geography throughout the United States are freshmen or sophomores. You do have a small percentage that are juniors and seniors, but the course is developed here as an introductory AP course for freshmen to give them some idea of what an AP course is like and hopefully open some ideas and doors for them to get into some other AP courses in the future. And so what we do, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but what we do with human geography a lot of times is the course is developed for students to use what's known as a stimulus. And when we mean stimulus, we're talking maps, graphs, tables, charts, and images. So here's a few examples. This is a big model that we use in our population unit. This is known as the demographic transition model. And what we look at here with the demographic transition model is we look at birth rates, we look at death rates, and how the world's population has changed over time. And we always ask questions. You know, why are people moving from place to place? Why does New York City have more people than, say, a small town in Iowa? And in this model, what we look at is we ask, when has the world's population changed and why is it changing? You know, what factors have caused the world's population to double in size just over the last 30 to 40 years? You know, why did the world's population go from less than 1 billion people in the mid-1800s to over 7 billion people worldwide today? And we explain economic connections, demographic connections, and we use models to help quantify and explain some of those theories. Here's another way we could use what's known as a stimulus. We look at populations. This is a population table. So you could be asked a series of questions given a stimulus, either in multiple choice format or in a what's known as a free response format, which is something I'll get to in a little bit. Here's how we could use the Woodstock Square as an image and use it in class. So some of the things we could ask ourselves and its geographic connections is we have topics related to nationalism and culture, and we could look at how the square was set up and what the importance of the square means to the city of Woodstock. We could look at street signs and how they're written in English and talk about the importance of the English language. to our ancestry, our culture. We could look at people's style of dress and the shops around that and talk about why are certain shops found in around the square while other shops are found around Route 47 and Route 14. That has a lot to do with our culture, the way our government sets up towns, and our consumer preferences. So the course is designed to emphasize not only writing skills, but also reading skills as well. We do have a textbook for the course that I'll show you an image of later on in this slideshow, in this video. We do assign a lot of reading from that textbook, and we try and draw a lot of connections from the textbook to our multiple choice questions and our writing questions. Like I said before, we use a lot of stimuli-based questions, maps, graph charts, and images. And there are 7 units in the course. So let's go into that because each unit culminates or ends in a unit exam. We have 7 units. They're all listed there. And in a second, I'm going to make a lot of connections between these units and COVID-19. But you can look through those right now. We go from populations to culture. So we talk about what makes up a culture. We talk about religion and language, food, sports, and we get into some of the cool aspects of culture and where certain sports originated from, their impact on our lifestyles, where certain foods originated from, and the impact of the environment and climate on food choices, how it relates to trade and economics. We get into politics with Unit 4, political organization of space. We get into political concepts like gerrymandering. If you've ever wondered how our representatives in Congress are elected, our representatives in the House are elected based off of reapportionment, and sometimes political roles play a role there in electing people to Congress. That's gerrymandering. We talk about the morality of gerrymandering. We get into the role countries play when they're negotiating with each other, trying to take over other lands, and the effect it has on people, cultures, and political boundaries. We get into economic development and terms of trade. Is fair trade better than a self-sufficient style of economic development where you're producing everything within your country's borders? Or are you trading freely with other countries? We talk about comparative advantage and the role that plays in determining trade. The Industrial Revolution, and we make connections between the Industrial Revolution and populations, how populations have dramatically increased since the Industrial Revolution, and what makes a country more developed versus less developed, factors that could get your country to be the next China, the next United States, the next Germany. We look at agriculture, which has a lot of ramifications because Woodstock is a very rural town with its roots, very agrarian. And we look at the different types of agriculture and the effect that climate has on the choice of crops that are grown in a certain area. How agriculture is changing from, especially in the United States, from small scale farmers to these big agribusiness corporations that dominate agriculture, the role of pesticides and fertilizers on the landscape. And then lastly, we get to cities and how cities are set up, zoning issues, and how cities have changed over the last 50 to 100 years, and how governments are trying to redevelop cities to pull people back in and to make cities more walkable, more environmentally friendly. So those are the units. Here's some connections using COVID-19 to those units. And if you noticed, I underlined some of the words that I underlined there are all connected to the units I just brought up. So when you think about where did the virus start, the virus began in Asia and then spread. How did it spread? Well, it spread with the movement of people. And we look at migration patterns very early in the course in Unit 2. Why do people move? You know, what influences people to move? Do people tend to move from country to country or within a small region? What makes them do that? Is it job choices? Is it society? Is it cultural factors? Are they being pushed out of an area? And if so, what effect do they have on the new area they move to? So going back to COVID, with the spread of people, then governments were faced with really difficult decisions. And we talk about governments having to shut down certain areas and the effect it has on unemployment rates and people's lifestyle choices. People really had to restrict from weddings to religious worship to travel choices to vacation choices. It impacted people's cultural habits and their lifestyles. The economic ramifications that COVID-19 had with the people being forced out of work, businesses having to close down or dramatically reassess how they were providing their goods and services. And then just think about the cultural and agricultural impacts too. A lot of major farm communities had to really reassess how they were harvesting crops and selling crops. And also think about beef production. In many cases in the Midwest, beef prices skyrocketed because of these meatpacking plants that had to be shut down because of the spread of COVID. And then you've seen just a large-scale movement of people out of urban areas. Thanks to technology, people can work from home more, they want more space, and they're hesitant to be in a closely packed area with the spread of COVID-19. And we're going to try and make some predictions in human geography about what are cities going to look like? What are American and world cities going to look like 5 to 10 years down the road, now that COVID has really made people reassess, do I need to be in a downtown area? Are downtowns still a vibrant part of a region? Or do people have the ability to work from home miles away from where their office is? So hopefully this gives you an idea about our course and how it can be connected so much to what's going on in the world today. And that doesn't even include, guys, if you think about some of the conflicts that have taken place over the last 20 to 30 years, so much of that ties in from religion to politics to resource use. We discuss all of that in AP Human Geography. So now I'll get into some course expectations here. You're probably wondering, what's the workload like? What's the tests look like? How are things graded? Am I going to have homework each night? What is the class going to look like? So hopefully this slide and the upcoming ones will help answer those questions. So there are a lot of vocabulary terms. You'll be expected to tie course concepts and course topics and content with current events. From what's happening with people in Kurdish-dominated regions in the Middle East, to what's happening in China today with the spread of COVID-19, to American politics and the concepts of gerrymandering and presidential elections, to immigration laws, not only here in the United States, but in the European Union and elsewhere. Here's some other expectations. You'll be expected to spend anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes a night, mostly reading. A lot of the work that both I and Mr. Sullivan, who's the other AP Human Geography teacher at Woodstock North, we run our courses the same in that we assign a lot of reading from this textbook. This is the AMSCO textbook. We assign what are known as 5x2 notes. That's where you have to read a paragraph at a time and summarize that paragraph in 2 bullet points and give it a title in 5 words, hence the term 5x2. We try and assign anywhere from 2 to 5 pages of reading a night, and we heavily use what's known as AP Classroom. So AP Classroom is a site in which you guys will have an account set up. You will have practice questions there. Sometimes we give our exams through AP Classroom. There are free response questions that you can use. So hopefully that answers your question about homework. I would expect anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes a night. You'll be expected on the unit exams. Again, there's 7 of them. The unit exams, you'll be expected to complete a multiple choice section and a free response section. The unit exams are worth 75% of your grade. Homework, quizzes, projects are worth about 25% of your grade. We do have class discussions or Socratics regarding women's rights immigration, minimum wage laws, nationalism, just to name a few. So we do have a lot of great class discussions that we tie to real life events. So if you're somebody who really enjoys getting into discussions with teachers and your peers, this class is definitely for you. We try and run roughly one project a unit. So I would expect anywhere from 5 to 7 projects throughout the course of the year. And we do watch a few films throughout the course. A couple of the films that we watch: Hotel Rwanda, which looks at the Rwanda genocide, and King Corn, which looks at the impact of agriculture and the rise of big agribusiness. Here's some examples of what an FRQ looks like. So the FRQ has been revamped over the last few years. The FRQ, when you guys take the exam in May, the FRQ is actually 3 questions, 7 parts each. And each of the questions uses what's known as a stimuli, which I talked about earlier in the video. So the stimuli could include here you have a population pyramid. You could have, this is an example of some multiple choice questions. Even the multiple choice questions use stimuli. Here's another one. Here's another example of a free response question. It uses a map. Now again, notice that the map, while it tells you Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, it doesn't give you the names of the countries, which is why it's very important. It's emphasized that you know your political maps. So this is a map of South Asia that includes India and Pakistan. And hopefully as you go through the course, you'll be able to know that. You'll be able to look at a map like this and go, oh, this big country here is India, to the west is Pakistan, and to the east is Bangladesh. This is a region of Asia known as South Asia. And you're going to have to know some of the characteristics, culture, demographics, political conflicts that make up the South Asian region to answer questions about it. Here's another one. We do deal a lot with gender issues and minority issues. This one looks at the percentage of women working in agriculture. So this is what's known as a choropleth map. And you have to know, guys, you have to know your different regions of the world and make some connections and be prepared to answer questions about a map like this, about how roles of women have changed and how the roles of women in workforces vary from region to region, more developed to less developed countries. Here's some information about the exam itself. So the exam itself is administered not by the school, not by me or Mr. Sullivan. The exam is administered through the College Board. The College Board is in charge of all AP questions and AP exams, I should say. The College Board administers all AP exams, whether it's AP Psychology or AP European History or AP Human Geography. It administers them all in May. Our course exam is in 2 sections: a multiple choice section of 60 questions in which you have 1 hour, 60 minutes to take it, and then you take an FRQ section, which is 3 questions, 7 parts each. Okay? That FRQ is graded by other AP teachers in June at a convention. It's usually given in Cincinnati. And then the FRQ and multiple choice is assigned a cumulative score between 1 to 5. 3 is accepted as college credit by all in-state universities, meaning all Illinois in-state universities, your NIU, your Eastern Illinois, U of I. A 4 is accepted by the vast majority of U.S. universities, and a 5 is accepted everywhere by universities. So you want to shoot for at least a 3. A 3 will get you in-state credit, and the course itself, if you're wondering, is equivalent. The content and topics are equivalent to a 100 to 200 level human geography college course. So something you would take as a freshman or maybe a sophomore at a university. Okay? Here's some benefits. Like I said before, I think the biggest thing that I can emphasize here with the benefits, you get such a better idea about how the world works, economics, politics, demographics, meaning populations and movement of people, agriculture, how cities are developed, and the pros and cons of living in cities and how cities change over time. That to me is the biggest benefit of this course. And it opens up some avenues and helps prepare you for future AP courses, both just with the course workload and just the strict regimen of being an AP student, along with all the other things that you see on the screen here. It has a lot of college and career benefits. These are a lot of the resources we use in class. We use Canvas all the time. Everything is posted on Canvas. So if you've been using Canvas at your junior high, it's perfect for you. We do use AP Classroom almost every day. There are videos through AP Classroom that are very beneficial that we assign, both Mr. Sullivan and I. If you want more information on the course itself, what I would recommend that you do is you just Google AP Human Geography or AP Central / Human Geography, and there's plenty of information through the College Board site on the course, from course expectations to videos and information from other AP Human Geography teachers. And if you have questions, if you're wondering if the course is for you, if this video hasn't answered all of your questions, feel free to reach out to one of us. We'd be happy to have a Google Meet with you, connect with you via email, and answer any other questions or concerns you'd have. So to recap, guys, I hope this answered a lot of your questions about the course. I hope this gets you a little more excited about the course and a lot of the benefits it can offer of taking it as a freshman at Woodstock North. And I hope you'll consider our course next year and enjoy the rest of your school year. And I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you very much.